The FBI is warning people about other people impersonating ICE agents to commit violent crimes. In a bulletin, the Bureau cites several examples in which criminals have targeted victims while identifying themselves as immigration agents and wearing shirts or jackets with the ICE label. There have been reports of threats, robberies, kidnappings, and sexual assaults. The FBI bulletin says the impersonation scams make it difficult for the community to distinguish between legitimate and illegitimate immigration enforcement practices.
Shalom. I want to start this off by giving honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Wahawa Kakwadash. Peace and salutations to the elect men of Israel, starting with the elder apostles and bishops on down to the rest of you brothers and the brothers that I labor with, who all push forth the will and doctrine of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, in all faith, truth, and sincerity, according to the true understanding of the scriptures. To all of you, I say Shalom. So, as you can see here, words gotten out on the news where it's basically going into how you've got people now impersonating ICE agents, for a slew of more wickedness, right? And if it wasn't already clear now, if it wasn't already clear before, now it should, in regards to you being able to see who the real enemy is and who it is that you're actually dealing with in regards to who's ruling the earth right now. It's the wicked. It's the damn devil, Esau, Edom, and Satan is right along there with him, right? They doing all that they can and all that they want, really, that they want to do. They doing it all, and it's showing you completely who they are, and it's only going to get worse. Because right now they're, they're still trying to make it look pretty with the words and the words that they use. I'm going on to use different laws, instilling these wicked decrees and laws, just to continue to keep doing wickedness, and with them setting up these laws and things like that, they making it look pretty with you using certain words, jargon, or putting things in a certain format with the words to basically still keep people asleep, still keep people blind, not addressing the issue for what it really is and acknowledging who it is that you're truly dealing with, them continuing to keep laying snares and traps and nets, in a slew of different ways, ultimately laying down a sword. Because it's only being set up and established to kill you, to destroy you, to get you any kind of way that they can get you. And it's going to get to the point to where they going to get past that, where they just going to be out in the open, just doing whatever. Because things have fallen so far down, things have gotten so much worse, things continuing to ramp up, and Jacob's trouble just continuing to manifest, and that wickedness right along with it, the evil is right along with it, it's a bad time that we're in, and it's only going to get worse, and this is just a part of it. So I'm going to grab some scriptures just to go into this. This is, you know what? I'm going to start here first, actually. I'm going to get that too, but I'm going to start here first. This is, actually, you know what? Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Psalms 94 and verse 20, it says, Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? You see, so this is the throne of iniquity. Is that you see letting these things happen, right? If it wasn't due to what was already enforced by Nero 47, by ultimately Esau, Edom, these heathens, these other nations, right? Because again, all of these things are done to destroy us. And they've been doing things like this for years, years upon years. You read it within our history throughout the scriptures. You seeing the different captivities our people have constantly been in over and over and over again to these heathen nations. And these nations just continuing to oppress us, continuing to destroy us, setting up rules and different decrees where they're looking to basically make our name no more, keep themselves keep them in what's the word I'm looking for, in that ruling position over us. It says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. You see? So these are the things that they're doing to our people. These are the things that you have to continue to keep acknowledging and paying attention to, and not letting this out of your sight in regards to how you go on to move throughout your day-to-day. We looking to receive of that salvation. We're looking to be kept from the woes, and all the wickedness that's coming, the troubling times that's here, the wickedness that is here, right? We're looking to flee from those things and to be kept safe and secure. And the way you do that is by acknowledging who and where all this is coming from. What's the source of all this wickedness? Where are you seeing these things come about from? Or who, right? So they gonna continue to keep doing this because they're set up against us. They understand their house isn't gonna last forever, but they gonna continue to keep believing this lie, telling lies, being the liars that they are. Just to try to stay in that position as long as they can. But the more they do that and the more that they bring forth all this wickedness, the more it's just going to turn back and fall upon them. So this is the time to be staying away, steering clear, because they got destruction coming to themselves as well. Isaiah 10:1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. You see, those unrighteous decrees, these unrighteous laws, right? Where they're making these wicked ass judgments that don't align in any kind of regard with the Lord, because they're against the Lord, right? It says, in that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, to take away the right from the poor of my people. You see, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the American Indians, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. You see? And going here, this is Psalms 10:2, says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. You see? So these wicked Edomites, the ones that's in ruling positions to be making these wicked decrees, right? First and foremost, starting with the wicked elite on down, they're doing all this to persecute our people, right? Because they're against the Lord. You see, it says what? Verse 3: For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. You see? So he's not even looking to do things in a way that please the Lord. And that's why the scriptures say, what is it? I'm thinking of. I'm going to jump right back to this. What is that? Zephaniah 1. If I'm thinking correctly. Zechariah. Therefore, the affliction. Yep. Zechariah 1:15, it says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. You see? So these people aren't looking in any kind of way to consider what it is that they do, how they go on to do these things that are against what the Lord wants, you know? And they're choosing to do the exact opposite. And they're taking it as far as they could take it, you know? And this is a part of why the Lord gonna have those nets and snares and traps that they set, get them, you know, fall upon them, catch them, right? The Lord gonna make sure that they are no longer a people because of how far they went when it comes to destroying the Lord's chosen people. You see? So jumping back here, right? It says, God is not in all his thoughts, right? Being the Most High, how about Shema. It says, verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. You see? Yeah, I'm going to jump down. Verse 8, it says, he sitteth in lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. And that's exactly what you're seeing happening with these situations right here, you know, where you got criminals posing as ICE, right? And a lot of it is going to be these, the wicked, these heathen, you know, these wicked ass Edomites that come of this wicked seed, you know, the top heathens that are upon the face of the earth, you know, starting with you know, the dukes of Amalek, you know, on down to the rest of Esau, Edom, right? It says, his eyes are privily against the poor. You see? And that's exactly what you're seeing with the SNAP benefits, right? That's what you see going on with really just all of our people, wherever they're at. You know, our people are the ones that are always at the bottom, right? Our people are always the ones that are the quickest to be looking for you know, help in all the wrong places. Our people are the main consumers of SNAP benefits, you know, state benefits, right? And they do it as a way to entrap you, snare you, to where you can't ever fend for yourself or defend yourself. where you're always in a position of being in need to them, and they exploit that. You see, it says, verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. You see? And what does this sound like? It's that 1 Peter 5 and 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. You see? And that's that roaring lion, you know? It's like Scar in The Lion King, right? Always lurking, always hiding, being sneaky, looking for all these different ways that he can go on to destroy us. And the scriptures further show that too, you know? This being that lion, right? That devouring lion. It says, Psalms 57:4, my soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue as a sharp sword. You see? So they use that sharp sword in all these different ways of them setting up these unrighteous decrees, right? They frameth what they say, how to say it in Psalms 94. Yeah, frameth mischief by Allah, you know? And it says in the NLT, can unjust leaders claim that God is on their side? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice. Is that not what you see here? But yet, because of these laws that they've permitted, right, these decrees that they've permitted, it's now leaving room and space for this type of wickedness to happen. But this is exactly what they wanted, you know? Them always having their mind privily on our people, right? That's Psalm 64 too, right? Yeah, it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily, you see, against who? Our people. They say, who shall see them, right? And if it wasn't clear, what does it say? Yeah. Starting at the top, verse 1. Psalm 64:1, it says, hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Right? That being us, you know? Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You see? That's exactly what you saw in the previous scripture. Oh no, was it the Psalm 57? You see? Whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue as sharp as a sharp sword. You see? So they're constantly looking to be against us, you know? And in that Psalms 64, right, with them constantly having their mind on us, they're going this far, you know? But this is also the Lord making it known, you know, that these are the wicked. So you ought to be taking heed of this, you know? Because it says what? The point is in verse 8. Reading verse 7, it says, "But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." You know? Those that can truly see. Those that are truly looking to take heed to what it is that the Lord is showing. And actually doing something with the signs that he shows you. You know? We can't be in a position of knowing and not doing nothing with it. The Lord going to go, you know what I'm saying, take you out. And that's exactly what's going to happen with all these people. Because they're going to be put in a position to where they know. They've been told. They've been shown. And when that open place of repentance was given, you know, they rejected, despised it. You know, roughly paraphrasing, but the same must know it after death by pain. So this is why we need to be paying attention to what's going on, seeing how the scriptures are really manifesting themselves right in front of us and taking heed to these things in regards to how we continue to survive out here while the days grow evil, you know, far more evil. So I'm going to leave it there. You know, that's pretty much the point. Continue to keep paying attention to what's going on. Measure the times diligently, you know. But you know where I'll end it with? Micah 2:10. That's my fault. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, either with a sore destruction." You see? So we are to be looking to flee from these times, right? No longer be associated with what's going on, keeping ourselves out of harm's way. We're not trying to catch no strays, you know? We looking to be completely under the strength, stability, security, and safety of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So, Lord, when this is edifying with that, we give honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Yahweh Kakwadash. Till next time, shalom.